Coming up next on Access Framingham, part 2 of a Rotary Club mission to Moca, Puerto Rico to help with the recovery from Hurricane Maria with my guest, Teri Banerjee. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jack Barron, host of Travels with Jack on Access Framingham TV, where our guests share with our audience a recent trip, a vacation, a cruise, or maybe a day trip right here in New England. You'll see their photos and hear about the exciting places they have visited. In September of 2017, Hurricane Maria struck a heavy blow to Puerto Rico. In February of this year, members of the Framingham Rotary Club joined Rotarians from New York State and Moca, a city in northwest of Puerto Rico, on 2 missions to help residents of Moca recover from the damage caused by the hurricane. My guest, Framingham Rotary Club member Teri Banerjee, participated in these missions. She told us about the first one when she visited Travels with Jack a few months ago, and she returns today to share the second mission with us. What parts of the world have you visited? Please be my guest on Travels with Jack and share your travel experience with our viewing audience. Just contact us here at Access Framingham Television and let us know you'd like to be a guest. You can phone AFTV at 508-875-5434, or you can send an email message to info@accessfram.tv. Our associate producer will contact you to make arrangements for you to be on our show here on Access Framingham TV. If you don't live in Massachusetts, we would be pleased to assist with your travel to the Access Framingham studio. And now, let me welcome Teri Banerjee back to Travels with Jack. Teri, welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
I don't want to bore you, but I'm going to give our audience a little bit of your history again. And Teri lives in Framingham since 1973. That's 45 years. She and her former husband raised 2 daughters here in Framingham, and Teri has 4 great grandchildren who live down south and out west.
They're not great-grandchildren. They're beautiful grandchildren.
Beautiful children. When I said great, I meant terrific. I meant terrific.
I know.
Teri was a teacher for high school students and then taught 15 years at Framingham State University, and she specialized in computer science and technology. In between all this, Teri is an avid tennis player and bicyclist. Teri also runs Active Computer Company, which is a computer training and consulting business located here in Framingham. Teri is also an anchor on the AFTV shows The Framingham Beat and was a Framingham Town Meeting member for more than 30 years, including 5 years as a town moderator and 1 year charter commission member. You'd think she had time. Teri, an active Rotarian, reached out to her regional director along with family Rotarian members and formed a district hurricane relief committee. And today, Teri will share with us a second mission of the experience in Puerto Rico with all of us. And I also want to remind Teri to fill me in during the show a little bit. You're now training EMT work. Yes. So that when you go on these missions, whether it's Puerto Rico or, my goodness, 2 weeks ago we had Hurricane Michael in Mexico Beach, Florida, and I was thinking of you and I said, where are the Rotarians? But anyway.
They were there.
They were there. That's great to hear. So tell me a little bit about the second trip, and I think you also mentioned you're planning a third trip.
Right. Well, we thought we would start with just a recap of the situation, and these were two missions that were planned. The first one, I don't know if she has the pictures up there. We were just going to recap the first one and show you the flag of Puerto Rico, the group that we were part of. It was a District 7910, which is our Massachusetts, one of the Massachusetts districts, the Liberty Club, Rotary Club in New York State, and the Moca Club in Puerto Rico. A group called Operation Endeavor, which is a group of first responders, and Wings of Michael, who is a faith-based first responders. And we all formed an organization, a committee actually, to try to help the citizens of Moca, Puerto Rico. And these, we got to Puerto Rico through relationships that were forged, people from Moca who happened to know somebody in New York, and then those New York people were part of Operation Endeavor. And with all those relationships, we were able to...
yeah, it's amazing that you know somebody and
right, exactly.
all of a sudden, you know, that's where we're going. We're going to Moca, Puerto Rico. And Bill, if you get a chance, you can put up that map for the viewers who didn't see our previous show to, we can show the folks where Moca, there we go. There's the flag of Puerto Rico. And I believe we have a map showing.
Well, the next slide is going to be just as a review. This is the group. This is the committee. This is the organizations that were in the committee, and we created this logo. And you'll see later on that we're wearing our T-shirts that which was part of our uniform while we were down there, that designated it. This was the first group that got together in September in Puerto Rico to begin forging the project that we were working on. And this, of course, is a picture of part of the hurricane. And then we have a movie clip that was taken in the hospital.
You know, I look at this, and this is what it looked like in Florida.
Yes, right,
it
exactly.
Seems when the winds are gone, it's really the water
it's
that
the
brings
flooding,
tremendous, the flooding that brings tremendous damage.
Right, that's exactly right. And you'll see we have a movie clip that shows the people in the in the hospital are actually holding the windows so that they don't blow in. But this gives you an idea of the mass of the hurricane. And we're only going to. I'm going to show you later on a still the location in Puerto Rico. This is I think close to the map that we have already pictured. You can see Moca is the red portion on the left. On the right is the whole island of Puerto Rico, and you can see how the hurricane swept through from the bottom southwest corner up to the north east corner of Puerto Rico.
You know, it's funny, because of Hurricane Michael, I'm thinking all we hear is FEMA, but they don't mention groups like yours who come in, and I'm sure there were more than just Rotarians who go in there.
There are a lot of groups.
I know. I wish the media would concentrate on how many different, I'll say, volunteer groups and nonprofits go in and help these people.
There are a lot, yeah.
I know it.
FEMA also has their restrictions for FEMA. For example, in Puerto Rico, FEMA will not help people with homes unless they have title to the home. They have documentation.
I remember that discussion.
And so that's where organizations like ours come in also to help those people. I wish
they would stress that. Here on Travels with Jack, we get a little bit out of the box, so we're informing you folks that there are a lot of charitable groups who do a lot of work in these communities that you don't see on the TV.
So on this trip, we flew. You could see the picture. If you can go back. The first trip we flew into San Juan.
Yep.
But this trip we actually flew to Aguadilla, which you can see is the intersection up there in the blue at the top, which was a lot closer. So we didn't actually have to trek from San Juan to Moca. Aguadilla is about 15 minutes outside of Moca. You can see it on the coast on the left there.
So you took a local flight from San Juan to there?
No, we took a flight. We flew from JFK to Aguadilla.
There's a flight from
Yes,
really?
Yes. And the first time we went, the airport wasn't functional yet. So
really?
When we took the second
there's a
trip,
flight from really? Okay.
Right. You can get a direct flight to Aguadilla, and this again is just a recap of what the hurricane looked like after the water receded. So here we are. This is also a review from last time where we were, our mission was to deliver mattresses and washing machines, appliances where people needed them, to actually help, and construction sites help people rebuild their homes, bring toys to the children, and also to do flu clinics. And so those were the four major goals of our project. This was, we were taking a mattress to some of the people. You can imagine with all the water, all the soft, everything ruined. Soft got ruined. So this is just, this was one of the places we went on the first time. And this was the construction site of the house. You'll see it, that we worked on. This is actually before we got there, and the next picture is what, so they did some cleaning up. This is what it looked like when we got there. So we were cleaning up this site the first time we went, and
no, I see from Florida how the huge amounts of debris that they've got to get out of.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I mean, you know, that's why I felt sort of helpless watching all of this. I would love to have been down there helping them, but that's part of the reason why I'm interested in doing the EMT training, so that I have some skill and reason to go to those places. But this is Don Luis. This was his house, and you'll see the difference later on. This was the first trip also. He was, that was his house that we were fixing up, and you can see he's a little disheveled. It was really very difficult for these people going through the hurricane. And then this is another woman that we took care of the first time. She has a beautiful house, but the whole electrical system in her house just had to be replaced because of the water. And so we're here presenting her the check. And last time, if you remember, or if you saw the show, we were inspecting the places where the electrical work was done. As I said, this is just a recap. Marisol, this was our first trip. You can see she's she was in really bad shape. That's her daughter. And we went to see them the first time. We actually delivered to them a refrigerator. And again, you might wonder, how do they have a refrigerator when they don't have electricity or water?
They had a generator.
But they had a generator. The generator got stolen. But so we went back to visit her on this trip. And this is just sort of a recap of the first trip, just so that it's a little bit in context if people didn't see the first show. And then the next slide is she had a very sad story where she lost everything, and she was renting this house. And this is at the flu clinic. We were giving out toys to the kids. This is one of the children who got the toys. And then we're going back to this is what we ended up, how we ended up the first time from Don Luis' house. But this is when we came back, and you can see that there's been a lot done. But there's still a lot of rubble around, and so when we came into the site the second time, we did a lot of cleanup again, and
but this time you're building with cement block, which will hold up better.
Right. So this is the progress that was made while we were there.
This was a big discussion in that Panama Beach area that I heard the elected officials were saying we need to change the zoning rules. Not just zoning, but the building codes.
Right.
And head more toward the Miami-Dade standards and so more cement block building, because those tolerate the hurricanes much better.
They withstand the hurricanes.
Yeah, I still never saw a lot of roofs seem to fly off.
Well, they still do, and I'm not sure what they can do, but hopefully they're working on that so that they'll be sturdier buildings.
Yeah.
So you can see the electrical meter that was in.
Yep.
So he now has electricity throughout the house, and so this is so he's still in pretty dire straits. But you can see Don Luis is the fellow there in the lavender shirt,
the purple
and
shirt,
he was all you could see how much better all these people were the second time around. And Nelson is who's the president of the Moca Rotary Club and has organized all these cases so that we could go help them. Was very thoughtful and brought a mirror for Don Luis so that he could.
Now Nelson lives in Moca.
Nelson lives in Moca.
Yep.
The reason that we don't have so many of these trips is because he's organizing most of the cases, and he works. He's a postman, so he doesn't have a lot of time to spend trying to organize this, but he does the best he can. This is what the dressing area looked like before, you'll see it afterwards. This was again the first. I'm just giving you contrast here,
Yep.
so that you can see what happened. So now this is the back area of that shed that you just saw, and you can see the mirrors up. Those tubs there are actually his washing machine. That's where he does his laundry, right, and does his washing. And there's Nelson. You can see what he has in his hand is shaving cream and some things for Don Luis. And I believe the next one is the completion of what we call the dressing room or the powder room.
He's shaved and ready to go out.
Right, so he's, and he was so grateful to have that done for him. So here we are in the yard, and it again needs to be cleaned up. So we cleaned up the yard. We did a lot of weeding while we were there this time, and cleaned it up so that it was livable. And this is another presentation at the same place. This is my sister, who's the president of the Liberty Rotary Club, and Nelson from the Moca Club, presenting Don Luis with some meals, so that he has some meals. He has a daughter who I guess cooks for him and does some of those things. But again, they really need the water and the meals. And later on, you'll see the supplies. And he was very grateful for that, for those gifts. This is the view from his place. It's gorgeous. Wild greenery.
No, the whole area, I think, looks very nice.
Yeah, it's
I'm just surprised there's a direct flight from JFK to out there.
Well, there is.
Why, is there enough population at
well, it's a fairly sizable. I guess it's a resort area, and so it's a little bit costlier to go there, but it's easier when you get there.
No, makes sense.
So here we are cleaning up the house again. And I know it doesn't look like, you can't really see what we've done, but we have done an enormous amount of work to get the house into shape. And there's Nelson with the wheelbarrow, as always, working like a beaver. And there's the group picture. Rotarians, the woman in white actually lives in New York, as friends with with the Liberty Rotary Club, and she actually was staying down there. And she is a title, her business is doing titles, so I don't know whether she got any work doing, helping people out, because part of the problem is people don't have the titles to their property down there.
Oh, so that's her industry.
I have no idea whether she did it. I'm just sort of pulling that out of the hat, but we thought of that when we were there. So this is Gary, who's also a member of the Rotary Club. Happens to be my brother. After we left the house from this trip, working on it, we're at the hardware store, because now they're ready to order the windows and the roof and the doors for the next phase of the build out on this house.
Just as you talk about titles, and I've seen a lot of articles on globally. What a big issue it is with a lot of people who are in houses without any kind of documentation.
Some of these people have been in the houses for generations, and they don't have papers. So when something like this happens, they don't have the documentation that they need in order to get the help that they need. So that is an issue. So
now it's almost.
So here's the next phase of the house with you can see the roof is on.
Yep.
And they'll be working on the windows and the doors, but you can see it's really, really taking shape. So after we left the construction house, we were hungry, so we stopped at a.
So your sister found some vegetables.
Right. Those are pineapple. That's pineapple. Okay. Some fantastic fruit along the road, and it was really, we were all famished, and we did a good job on the fresh pineapple. I think I can't remember what else we bought, but that pineapple was so good. And you can see there we're wearing our uniforms. I didn't mention that before. The back, I don't think I showed the back this time, but the back has the logo on it. So now we're actually going to another place to deliver a washing machine. And this picture, you can't see it very well, but the roof that's right across from the car is filled with rubble, and there was actually a woman on there cleaning off the rubble from that roof. This was 3 weeks after we were there the first time. And we're there to deliver a washing machine. Rosa was not there. Rosa has a 13-year-old daughter who has cerebral palsy. So you can imagine what it's like not having a washing machine with a situation like that. So she needed it desperately. She wasn't there at the time, so we delivered it anyway. We delivered it and installed it.
I saw the pet, the little dog. Did you find there were a lot of stray animals after these storms?
I didn't see a lot of animals,
good.
Actually. We really didn't see a lot of animals. But you can see he's setting up the washing machine, and most of the washing machines get set up outside the house. They have outlets outside. And so we...
Oh, really? That's a common practice.
You'll see the next one of the other ones that we do the same way. So he installed the machine, and it turned out there was a part that was missing or not working. But because the woman wasn't there, Rosa, the owner, wasn't there, we set up the washing machine, and then you'll see when we go back later that we see her. Now this is Amelia's house, and this is, I think this might be out of order. Oh no, we went to Amelia's house next. She has a washing machine we delivered there. And you can see that's half a flight of steps. Later on, you'll see them taking the washing machine up the steps. They had to bring the old one down, which wasn't working, and take the new one up. She wasn't there, so that's the furniture truck in the background. But we had to leave and go somewhere else because the owner wasn't there. We couldn't deliver it at that time. So you'll see we go back later on. So now we're on the way to another place where we're delivering some mattresses, and we're going through actually a fairly wealthy area of the city to one of the poorest areas. This is a very nice area. We had to go over the hills to get to the place where we were delivering the mattress for Norida.
Now, in this wealthy area, did they have a lot of damage also, or did their housing
They didn't seem to have an awful lot of damage to the houses.
So the construction was better.
Right, the construction must have been better. But even the houses that we were going to, as long as they were brick or stone, they seemed to have managed very well. And some of the houses, we might have mentioned it before, look like there's nothing wrong with them. But when you realize that they've been filled with water, they were just completely inundated, that everything inside was ruined. So even if they have a structure, everything they've had inside was
Well, you
ruined.
see this here in the United States, that the flooding does tremendous damage.
So this is a result of the flooding, the rubble that's there.
Yeah.
So this is the place where we were going, and I'm going to show you some of the rooms
Now this
in our
woman
house.
looks like she's in a wheelchair.
She is in a wheelchair. We delivered a mattress for which she was very grateful. And again, we may remember from last time, the paperwork is very important because we document everything, and we're very careful about expending money that the people have donated to make sure that it goes to the purpose for which it was intended. And so these people have to sign the papers and that they've gotten it. So this is just some pictures of her house. You can see that they're quite poor. This is sort of out of the 50s.
Oh boy, she's ready for a new fridge.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the way, that's how they survive. They live there. And so while we were in this area, there was another place that we went that they delivered a mattress. And now you can see that we're back at Rosa's house. You remember the washing machine that we just delivered?
Yes.
And Rosa is there. Nelson is back with the part. The part didn't work. So the owner was going to have to get the part that made it work. But now this is all done. And there's the group picture showing that we have actually made the delivery. I mean, the people were so happy. They were, I mean, it was
well, look
very
how you're helping them out.
It's very
there
gratifying, yeah. And it seems such a little thing to us that you're just delivering a mattress or a washing machine, but there are things that people wouldn't have otherwise. And they didn't need to have their houses cleaned out at this point, but they're still looking for items that they can't afford to buy. They're really helpful. So this was that night.
Now there's the title gal in the
Yeah.
title business. Okay.
And we were at the Rincon Beach. This was a very nice beach. We went for dinner that night. So this was Sunday, and we're doing the flu clinic again. Actually, this flu clinic we did on the plaza. You'll see pictures later on, and we did
Now I
take
remember
care
you
of
had
children.
the earlier trip. The church was very involved
Right.
with
Well, you'll
your
see
trip.
the church is very involved, and we're
In
doing
this one too, even coming back.
Oh yes, absolutely. And you'll see. So we did. These were also scheduled. There's a church in the background.
Yep.
And the
I thought that
this
was
is-
interesting. Your last discussion with us, where you said how much the church was part of
It
the
is very much
community,
a part of the community,
and
that's,
yet I see here in the States more and more secularization.
well, they have three masses at all of the churches. There, I believe there were 13 wards. I'm not sure what they're called.
Districts, whatever.
Districts. Part of Moca, and the population of Moca is about 43,000. So they have all these different areas. Each one has a church, and this church, for example, in the heart of Moca, they do 3 masses on Sunday and other times, but we were there on Sunday. So we also went back to the Kapa where we went the first time because we ran out of flu vaccine the first time we were there. And this was actually they did this. On
Well,
the
you're-
plaza here, they did other things other than the flu shots. They did blood pressure.
Well, see, here's your EMT training will come in.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
You'll be able to do
I don't-
shots.
I might be able to, but they took blood pressure, and there were some exhibitors. There was you'll see later. There's a woman there from insurance company, and there's a woman who's giving out samples of Mocha industry food. They had sesame stuff and pineapple, things like this. So this is the clinic. There are quite a few. This gentleman in the blue on the other shot is actually the brother of Dr. Soto, who is the main person who has been held. He's the one who organized these clinics. And the woman on the right, I believe, is also was involved last time as well. And you can see the Rotary banners that we all have. But this is preparing. They're preparing for the, and you can see in the background, we've got our Rotary flags. The one on the left is from Framingham that commemorates the heart study. There's one from the Liberty Club and one from Mocha. So there's Father Juan
Yes. Yep.
with Dr. Soto conferring. And Dr. Soto also had a clinic. This fellow was a psychiatrist who dealt with depression and suicide. Trauma. Exactly. So he was there helping people at the plaza this day. And Dr. Soto also had a clinic. Anybody, if somebody had a problem, they could come to him and he would help them.
I was just reading an article. It's funny you talk about trauma. They were talking about people whose homes are in kind of war zones or whatever, and you know when the missile or a bomb hits even nearby, and even years later when you know they're at peace or whatever, they still have a lot of post trauma
PTSD.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's interesting. You know, we only think of it usually with military people,
Right.
but it
No,
also is
right.
people who have been in any kind of traumatic situation. Could
Right.
be a hurricane or
Right.
something where their house has been involved in artillery fire or something.
Right, I think we're recognizing that a lot more too,
Yeah.
and trying to handle that. So this is a picture of after the shots. This is my sister-in-law, who's president of the Liberty Rotary Club. We were giving out cake and juice again. These are people. This is the waiting room, if you will. They set up the waiting room with chairs, people waiting to get their flu shots. This was setting.
At least you got good weather.
Oh, it's beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was actually absolutely gorgeous when we were there.
You'll have to make your third trip in January. That's probably a good
Well,
time
they're
to be
planning.
there.
There's another trip plan. This is the life insurance, the insurance agent, And the next one is I didn't get a good picture of her wares, but you can see the sesame on the side and the coconut in the background there. These are native products. These are native
Agricultural things?
Right, but that are made in Moca. It's a retail product.
Oh, okay.
You can see the containers for them.
So they make what, some coconut products?
They made some coconut products and some sesame products that are very healthy. And they were very good. They were delicious. So this is the flu clinic in action. These people on my left here were just two people who just came over and said, "We're so grateful that you're here and that you're doing this." And we had a lot of people who came over to talk to us and tell us how happy they were that we were there helping them and that they need the flu shots and all these things. So it was gratifying.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. They're overwhelmed, a small community, 45. A storm like this is just tremendous, as you see.
And they're still recovering. I mean, it's Moca, I think, is probably in better shape than a lot of the island is.
Well, at least it sounds like they got electricity. A lot of that island.
They had, yes.
Puerto Rico had a real breakdown.
They had a lot of electric problems.
Yes, yeah, but before the hurricane,
right.
They had a bankruptcy in their whole electric company.
Right, they sure did.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That was a big problem. But Moca had their electricity. Their big problem, one of the biggest problems ahead of them now is that their dam is weak, and they were supposed to be working on the dam so that they could keep their supply of water. And I haven't actually heard what's going on with that at this point. So these are the people at the clinic still giving out shots. So there's Dr. Soto with a patient taking care of this lady's leg. And so people were actually coming to him for help. That's you can't see, but behind there is Nelson, who was having his flu shot.
Postman.
the president of the Rotary
Now,
Club.
how did word get out that you were setting up this
Well,
clinic?
they do that through the church and the town. The city of Moca, the mayor actually did some
promotion for you? Oh,
it,
good.
yes.
And the church.
And the churches, right. The churches are one of the main conduits for getting out information that they're happening, so that they would tell them that during the church service or when they were in church that they were going to do that. And there were posters and there was...
Oh, good. So word got out.
Right. Word did get out. Absolutely. So that's why the first time we didn't have enough at one of the churches. This is the little boy getting a shot. He wasn't very happy. But we all know that it's for a good reason. There's Don Luis. We invited him to come for his shot, and
You wanted him in the camera.
He actually did come, and I actually got a shot of him. So he's really benefited. We had a few people like that who've benefited, who really needed help. And the problem is there are a lot more out there, and we're finding them, and we're going to help them. So, so the next mission is going to be in November, and coming from this committee. The project.
So you'll be going?
No, I will not be going. I'm going to be in the middle of EMT training in November.
Okay.
So I'm not going.
Now, is your sister going?
Just let me just interrupt. This is the mayor. We waited for the mayor to come, and we were at Kapa. A group of us went to Kapa, back to the other church, and but they got a nice shot of the mayor and Dr. Soto, and the fellow on the end is a Rotarian in Moca, with my sister-in-law.
Oh, in Moca, he's a local.
Yes, the fellow on the left is a local Moca Rotarian.
Yep.
And that's a picture of the mayor who came to see what was going on. Again, a big group picture of
everybody who did the clinic.
Who did the clinic, right.
Now, is this a standard Rotarian thing that they do set up these clinics? And is this
No, this was this was part of our project. A lot of Rotary projects are, and actually was also part of this was helping with water, because a lot of communities around the world don't have clean water or good water.
Oh, it's a big problem.
So there are lots of water projects around. There are lots of building projects around the world that Rotarians do, and they're all individual projects. So this was not part of any big other big project, but we did work with the two other clubs and the Operation Endeavor and
water is a global crisis.
But this was a project that was decided upon. The Operation Endeavor went to went to Puerto Rico excuse me, in September, as you saw, and after doing their reconnaissance, these were the projects that the goals that they felt were most important for this particular area. So that's what a lot of the projects are decided, is that you have somebody who goes down to see what there is, or there'll be somebody from the community who says there's a need, and we'll find another Rotary club somewhere else and get together and do a project. We have our local club. We have a Rotarian who's was in the Peace Corps in Zambia, so we have some projects going on there as a result.
I've been to Zambia, believe it or not, and they need a lot of projects.
Well, so there are a lot of needs. So this is Kapa. This is the clinic in Kapa. We went back there, and we were able to take care of the people who needed the flu shots this time. You can see Nelson.
Zambia has a tremendous amount of laborers just on the streets, who a lot have come from Zimbabwe, which is across the river, because that economy's been killed. And they're in the streets looking for work. And,
but there are projects all over. And
yes.
One of the things I would like to do is work on some more local projects as well as the international ones, because we have needs here as well. So that's a picture of the plaza after.
Yeah, that looks like out of a postcard.
Yeah. And let's see. So we're back at Amelia's house. You just saw the steps the last time. Amelia lives in Section 8 housing, and this is.
Oh, they have Section 8 there?
They do. Well, it's part of the United States, and.
Well, I didn't know it had all the same.
It does, and I mention that because it's a fantastic. I mean, it's really a fantastic place. But you see the steps.
Yep.
And they had to go take the washing machine down from the top, and then carry the new machine back up there. And I have some pictures of Amelia's house. You hear about, I mean, you saw the other house that wasn't in such good shape. Her house is in, I mean, she's really done a good job. She has a beautiful house. And
yet they have a Section 8 program there.
Right.
Now, do they get U.S. food stamps also?
That I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that much. I
never quite understood all the, because
no.
they're kind of a colony, so I didn't know what they really get out of regular U.S.
Right, I don't know all of that either. So I was learning while I was there. Found out.
Your next trip, ask them. Say, Jack wants to know.
Well, we could probably find out if they get food stamps or not. I would imagine that they do, that they are eligible for them, but I don't know for sure. So here they are.
There they are lifting. Oh, we got a video.
Yeah, we have a video lifting them. Well, that's why I don't have that many pictures of them, but I did the video, so I don't have the still pictures of them going up there. But this was a project.
Yeah, not so easy. Oh, I thought that was the blonde gal from New York, the title woman.
Yeah, no. So she's directing them. So they had to move back. The balcony, the hall is so narrow that they had to put the washing machine down there in order to pull out the other one and get that one down.
So we're at Amelia's house, and
It was like
This is where
too many cooks
the first
spoiling
washing machine that's at the end of
the
this
broth
balcony,
because there were a lot
Oh,
of
she's
people there.
got the key.
and bring in the new machine.
And she was on her way back. She had to
Now
rush
this
back.
was all what, on your cell phone you did this?
Yes.
Wow.
Machine out.
My cell phone, my videos on my cell phone come out a lot better than the regular pictures. I don't know why that is. It's the same device. But there they are with that's the installed new washing machine from there. So from there, we went back. So Amelia was new. So if you remember the pictures of Marisol from here, I believe we were going back to Marisol to see
Okay.
her. There's still some shots from here. That was the balcony. I think I have a couple shots from her house. The view from her house was beautiful. But, so this is another place that we went. You can see. I don't know if you get the depth of how steep that is. We're way up on the top, and they had to take the mattress down those steps, and it was really steep. And the house is actually on the precipice of a cliff of the mountain. I mean, it's amazing.
I can see it's a good 30 feet down.
It's amazing that place is still there, but you can see it's well constructed. Those steps are very solid, and the house is very solid. And I have a picture of the view from the side of the house. You're looking at, if you go to the left of the house, the picture that we have is over you can see the whole valley. I don't know if, there you go. That's the view from their house, and it's really beautiful. But, they're...
Are a lot of the people involved in agriculture and growing the pineapples and stuff?
I don't know the
Okay.
demographics. I don't know I don't know about that. I probably should have found out because I think
No,
you asked
that's
me
all right.
I think you asked me last time
Oh, did I?
some of those questions, and I didn't.
I just wonder, I'm sure there's, as you said, it's a resort area, so there's certainly a lot of tourist income.
Right.
But I always wonder, what is their basic
Well,
other...
I'm not sure that Moca's, I don't think Moca's major industry is tourism. Rincon, where we had dinner, was further out toward the water, and that is definitely a resort area. So I'm not really sure what the major industry is there, other than the fruit and vegetables. So here's Marisol. On the second trip. It took us about 20 minutes to get there. It's a long ride, but Marisol was very happy to see us, and she's doing much better since we were there the first time. And you'll see later on, she didn't, so the question was, and I think I said
She
this
found
last
some
time.
money.
I don't know if she found some money, but she is doing a lot better. The refrigerator helped her. I'm not sure that she's working. I don't know what kind of benefits she gets. I think she did have some benefits. I think she had money from FEMA for rental for the house. She actually owned a house that was just completely demolished. There was no way she could they could rebuild it. She didn't have the money to do that. But she was very happy to see us. And what we're doing here, my sister-in-law, who is the president of her club, we have a tradition in most Rotary clubs called Happy Dollars, and at our meetings we send around actually Framingham has a duck. We do Happy Dollars in the duck, and members put money into Happy Dollars into it to commemorate occasions, a birthday, or the Red Sox won last night or whatever, to designate a project. So her club has given the president the discretion of spending whatever is in the Happy Dollars, whatever revenue they get, and she opted to present to Marisol on this trip money so that they could a deposit so that they could get electricity and water through the city. So that's one of the things that we're doing there, is she's actually making that presentation.
Yeah, so
she still didn't have a supply of electricity. She didn't have electricity in the house or running water in the house.
hard to conduct modern living
Right,
without
Right.
electricity and water.
right.
So,
So we went to see how she was doing, and she was doing much better. And here's the presentation. That's her daughter, Sol Marie, who
you got to get her a job.
I don't know if
maybe with the post office department
Right.
there.
her daughter is 13 years old, and she had Marisol. It wasn't just that they
I
lost
think
their
the
house.
last picture we had with the daughter, she was on the telephone too.
Probably, but so Marisol has a son who's ADHD, and her mother, I think, has Alzheimer's. So this is not.
Oh, she's got her hands full.
This is this is not just a family who is in hardship. They have a lot of extraneous problems, and she also has a lot of medical issues.
Who, Marisol?
Marisol
Oh,
does.
really?
Yes, Marisol has herself. So she was just very happy to get that. And there's Marisol with her twin sister.
I was going to say they look alike.
They are twin sisters, yes. But you can see how much better she looks.
Now, the
and,
sister lives nearby as well?
she lives in Moca. They don't live together.
Okay.
They live separately. But she came to visit on this particular trip.
Yeah, the sister looks happy there.
So Sol Marie is 13. She has a beautiful voice. I got a really nice. She actually wanted to sing for us, and we can't really put that up here because I didn't get her permission. But she has a beautiful voice for untrained. She wanted to perform for us, so she did that while we were there.
Oh, isn't that nice, really?
Yeah.
Kind of a local talent show.
Yeah, it was.
I feel good. I feel good.
Bye.
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 The audio is, I feel good. She's dancing to I Feel Good. And I thought that was worth showing the video to see how much happier she was and how much we had helped her get through this hurricane.
Well, listen, that's what it's all about, the satisfaction of seeing. I mean, it must be nice going back and seeing the progress from where you started.
Our trip to Marisol was really a personal trip because no, that's not true because we did present her with the funds so that she could have the electricity and the water. So that was part of the project. But we all wanted to go back and see how she was doing, so that worked out really well. And that was basically the mission for this time. We had our last supper, and last time we celebrated my sister-in-law's birthday, and this one we celebrated my birthday because my birthday was 2 days after this night.
Oh, okay.
So that was a great place to celebrate a birthday, and that was the gang that was there. So this is the furniture store.
Oh, yes.
You can see
that was
now-
a woman was the owner.
Right. Well, Nelson is this was in the morning. This was Sunday morning Monday morning rather, when we were leaving. He had to go to work, but he did stop by to say goodbye to us, and we met at the furniture store, which is where a lot of it's not just furniture; it's a furniture and appliance store. And we were waiting for Carmen. Because we wanted to say goodbye to her. She, along with the priests and Dr. Soto and Nelson of the Rotary Club, is the group that really is the reference for the projects that are being done there that we found to do. So while we were waiting for her, we didn't know exactly when she was going to get there. We went to a bakery, and the bakery is owned by the mayor's daughter.
Oh, okay.
And this is the sign that's up in the bakery, which I thought was certainly worth having a picture of and displaying. That stressed as desserts spelled backwards. I don't know if anybody realized that, but this is posted on her bakery wall, and the name of the restaurant is called Sugar Rush. The bakery was called Sugar Rush.
And that's her.
That's the mayor's daughter.
Really? She seems young. The mayor seemed much older.
Well, I don't.
You didn't get the skinny on how he ended up with the young daughter. Okay.
Well, she's a young adult, and I think it worked out just great. So there's Carmen. And
Yes.
Carmen was talking to us about how, she was talking from the heart about how she really enjoys working with the group, and she does it because she really enjoys doing it, and she's so grateful that we were there to help her to find people to help, and that we all did it together as a teamwork. And she was,
Your help, okay?
Well, we're all hummingbirds. That's what we say. We're all hummingbirds. We all do
She
our
was very
little part.
animated.
Everybody did their part. The world would be a better place.
so,
Very good.
No, I remember from your first visit there,
Thank you,
she
thank
was
you,
very
thank
helpful
you
with
so
getting you
much,
the
okay?
appliances
right,
and
well,
stuff.
that's what she
Visit,
did. So
okay?
she
When I arrive
donates
here,
some of the drivers,
I
I
call
mean,
Nelson
and she
immediately,
gives,
okay?
she gives
Say
people
bye.
who are in need
So-
discounts
Thank you
also.
for all you do,
To say
Carmen.
goodbye to the
This is our farewell.
And the priest was, I was always, it was amazing how much the priest was involved in everything.
Right. Well, there are priests in it from every church
Yeah.
that are there, and they were very much involved, and that's the outreach for the community.
Yeah.
And so that was the second mission. As I said, the third mission is coming up in November, and they
Now,
will be-
who's going? Is your sister going?
I
or-
don't know. I don't know who's going on that one yet. It's just being organized now.
Okay.
It'll be in mid-November, and it's also a weekend. It will be the same.
And your EMT training is doing what? Every week you go? Or tell me a little bit about that.
The course that I'm taking, it's a blended course, so it's going to be online, and it's 6 Saturdays from 9 to 5:30.
So when you say blended, does that mean 100% online or?
No, so the material, I'll have to be working on learning the material online and doing the exercises and learning about it. And then on the Saturdays, we'll be doing the practical work, 6
So
Saturdays.
there's a physical part to it.
Absolutely, right.
And
So
who trains you for that?
this is done by the company is Rapid Safety.
Okay.
It's a certified EMT. I looked it up. I actually, it's interesting. I had been so this came as a result of my mission to Puerto Rico. When the first one that I went on, I was talking to Tommy, who was part of Operation Endeavor, and saying I would really like to be doing this stuff because I felt, especially at the clinics, we really didn't have a lot to do. And he sort of suggested that EMT training might be the place for me to go. And I sort of put it on the back burner. I've been back since February and March. I looked some things up online, and all the courses that I saw were like semester courses and really expensive. And I didn't want it to cut into some of the other things that I do. And I was actually driving down Dudley Road one day and saw a sign on a telephone pole that said EMT training, and it gave a website. And I went by it too fast the first time, and I went back, I took a picture of it, and again it sat for a while, and a few weeks later I finally got to looking it up and found that it's bona fide training, and they have different courses for different types of courses. So the blended learning for me is a 6-week course. Most of the learning is done at night. They said 25 to 35 hours are expected during the week, and then the practical
so
is
it's a lot
on
of
Saturday.
time-consuming.
The first night is a mandatory CPR class, but they also have classes where you go 5 days a week and do the practical training, or they do part-time. And so there are several venues throughout Massachusetts where people can take courses.
Interesting at this
And
point
this worked out for
point
me.
in your life that you would be getting EMT training.
Well, I'm looking for something new to do, and I thought that would be a really good thing to do. It's never too late.
And
I've been very frustrated with all the hurricanes that have happened in the last couple of weeks. This is sayonara. Well, it's adios, I should say. Adios to Moca. This was pictures I took from the plane. But with all the hurricanes that have been going on within the last couple of months, I've really felt that I
And big
I
hurricane.
would like to help,
yeah.
but I don't really have a venue, and if I at least had some training, I might be able to do some.
No, the
other help.
EMT thing I think you might find helpful because,
Well, I can help anywhere.
yeah, but when I see you had the clinics and you had all
right.
these people coming for assistance, I mean, I think it could be very helpful.
Well, I've never even thought about doing these things over the course of my life because I was doing other things, and now that I'm sort of at a crossroads, and the first time I saw something was when I was in my 40s, and there was an advertisement for the military. I never thought about going into the military, and of course I went home right after I saw the ad and looked it up and found out that the cutoff date was 40, and of course by that time I was over 40. And then I was thinking, well, the National Guard might be good. Well, the cutoff date
This
for
is
the National Guard is
Massachusetts.
35.
You can select your own age. You can say, I identify as 35 years old. Who's going to question it?
So I mean, I have a lot. I would like to do.
That's all. Tell them you can't go by my legal age or whatever. That's nonsense.
I don't think I can tell them that. So I found something
Yeah,
that I can do. Well, I found something that I can do.
I identify as 35.
I found something that I can do that it's not age related. I just have to be able to do what is required, and I'm in pretty good shape, so I think I can do it.
Well, I'm going to thank you as always for joining us today. If you do go in November, I would love for you to come back because it's kind of like
No,
a
I
series.
definitely won't be going in November. If we get somebody from Massachusetts who goes, or maybe some that I will make sure that they get in contact with you.
Yeah, I'd love a little bit of an update on how Marisol's doing. Did she get to work?
Right, right.
And how's Carmen's furniture store
Right,
operating?
right.
And yeah, it'll be kind of an update and how they're all. I like that. You're taking them from, we'll see the fellow who was shaving there, Lewis.
Right.
Yeah. How he's doing in his new house, and we'll go in and see if Carmen furnished it.
Well, forging relationships is one of the goals and one of the
Yeah, but
offshoots
I like the fact you went back and had some follow up.
Right.
Because it's wonderful to do it originally, and I think it's also exciting to go back and say, "Hi, we want to see how you're doing." I like that.
Exactly. Right. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you
and
very
good
much.
luck with the EMT.
thanks.